Manga, and more manga. I read a lot of it in my spare time, and by spare time, I mean at work. So much so that I decided to say, hey, screw it, let's see if any of these are worth your time. And with time in mind, I'm not going to waste any of yours. Let's see if this manga is for you in 10 minutes or less. MARRIAGETOXIN is a manga written and illustrated by the duo of Jomyaku and Mizuku Yodai, starting on April 13th in Jump Plus, and as of this recording, has 32 chapters. The story stars Gero Hikaru, an assassin belonging to a respected clan of assassins who specifically use poisons to take out their target. One day he's told by his sister that the grandmother wishes for one of them to take over the clan as their leader. Only issue though is that they need to get married, and it has to be between a man or a woman. Trying to protect his sister from leaving her girlfriend, no, I'm serious, this is the plot, Gero sets out to find a wife to take over the clan with. However, he is terrible with women and thus enlists the help of a renowned marriage swindler, Mei Kinosaki. A man! Wacky! The two embark on a journey traversing through dating apps and other assassins trying to kill them to hopefully find a suitable wife for Gero. And that is the story up till now. Side note, this is the most I've had to say about a story in a while, so buckle up. Starting off with our character and our main man, Gero Hikaru, or Gero Hikaru, depending on who you want to say it. For starters, I love his conflict. Here's a man who is damn good at his job, arguably one of the best going around, but when it comes to being sociable and especially romantic, he becomes as flimsy as paper. And what I especially like about this idea is that while it has been played for some comedic purposes, it is also taken fairly seriously. His social awkwardness and relative naivete around people is treated with the seriousness you would imagine in a slice of life or even a drama. Now, it doesn't take itself so seriously that you find yourself rolling your eyes at it, but it does take itself seriously enough where you feel for this guy, you feel for his plight, you feel what he's going through. But what I like more than that idea is the fact that he's trying to fix it. He's not going to just toss it out within a day and be magically cured of his awkwardness. It takes time, and the manga shows that time. Maybe he takes a big step forward and a couple of steps back. Maybe he has confidence one moment, but something shatters his confidence the next. It's a great way to show how he reacts to it, and a way how he plays off the romantic interest in the manga. It's rather grounded and, dare I say, realistic. Now, I know some are against the on-again, off-again confidence some manga protagonists do, and even I am a big proponent against it, but in this manga it is treated with that sincerity that honestly doesn't make it feel that annoying. I love it, and the fact that he's slowly but surely trying to fix himself and make himself a better man is something you don't really see in a quote-unquote harem romance manga. Sometimes the character is just completely static and all the women still toss themselves ass first to him. But in this manga it shows that he not only needs to fix himself, but he comes around to the idea of wanting to, saying, no, I want to be the man that I know I can be. I want to be married. I want that happiness. And it hits really well. I mean, again, I'm one for the schmaltz, and to me, it hits fantastically on the mark. I love that about his character, and again, he's still a very funny, comedic, charismatic guy in this manga, with that little bit extra of sincerity, and I know I've used that word a couple of times, but it just goes to show how far he's come from other quote-unquote harem protagonists. Again, I only use the term harem because that is what it's technically labeled under. I have to just say that I love his character and he's great for the main lead. Now, unlike Gero, Mei is not as fleshed out. However, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. In fact, I very much enjoy the personality that they gave him. He's more of a life coach rather than someone who's going to be actively involved in the action or the story. They just so happen to get swept up in all of Gero's shenanigans trying to get a girlfriend. And because of that, Mei is not a fighter, they're a marriage swindler. Someone who works from the shadows, manipulates, doesn't go skin deep, goes in deep. And I won't lie when I say that I really do like that dichotomy between him and Gero. Not to mention where we are in the story, it wouldn't really allow him to get much of the spotlight. But I do see that further down the line, and by further down the line I mean pretty soon, they will be giving him a lot more to do. Speaking of the relationship with Mei and Gero, and speaking of the relationship between Mei and Gero, I find it rather fun, and in fact both of them together really do make for a very fun buddy comedy dynamic. It's something that I don't think a lot of manga can hit without making it too forced. Now, someone may make note that I did not mention a romantic relationship, and that is because I'm still not sure they're even going to go that route with the subverted expectation that Gero's grandmother is going to allow him to marry Mei, or if they're going to turn it on its head and say that there's no second option, he can't marry him. However, I also like that because even in the manga, they do make it a point that Gero is not really interested in Mei, because again, Mei is a man, and vice versa, Mei is not interested in Gero. They're friends, they're colleagues, they're co-workers. They will protect each other, they will be there for each other, but they're not romantically linked. And the reason I like that is because it takes away the obvious answer of who he's going to end up with in the end. Now, later down the line, they can make it so Gero and Mei do get together. However, I do like the idea that they may not, pardon the pun, and it may be one of the multiple options that were given throughout the manga. I like that. I like it because they don't give us the obvious answer, unlike so many other rom-coms where they're essentially spelling it out for you at the very beginning. It's interesting that because of that relationship and because they are very adamant in telling you that no, he is not an option yet, it really opens up the possibilities for the rest of the manga and other choices. The art in the manga is actually pretty interesting. It's somewhere between Shai and Ottoman, where it's scratchy but refined. I think a lot of it does come down to whether or not you're even into that kind of art style. Personally, for me, I like it a lot. Again, it reminds me a lot of Shai and Ottoman, to the point where it almost feels like it's the same person drawing it. I know it's not, but it's great. I love the art style. But there's really nothing else I can say about it that I didn't say about both Shai and Ottoman. They're just great looking art styles. As of right now, the only real negative I have towards the manga is that it does feel a bit eclectic with its pacing, where sometimes it goes slow, sometimes it goes fast, sometimes we get introduced to a new romantic lead, sometimes it doesn't go anywhere. It's weird, because again, as I mentioned before, they give you a lot of these options, especially early on in the manga, but as of now, there aren't really many contenders. There aren't people that you can point at and say, yes, he's going to end up with her. Again, I guess that could be setting up for down the line he could be getting with Mei, but I would rather they don't make it that obvious. Again, they're not making it obvious to begin with, so I'd rather there be total ambiguity rather than hints of he will be with Mei, if you understand what I'm saying. Overall, Marriage Toxin is a fantastic, fun time to read. It's got fun characters, a fun story, a fun premise, a fun main character, fun art, fun action, and honestly, there's almost nothing to complain about other than the slight nitpicks that I had before. I say go read it. It's free on Shueisha's site, like legitimately for free. You can go read it for free, and I could not recommend this enough. Seriously, if you have the time, go read it. I usually don't like giving ratings, but screw it. I give it a recommendation out of 10. And that is time, everybody. Thank you once again for watching this video. It took more than a couple of minutes to do. I hope you guys enjoy. If you've read Marriage Toxin, what do you think about it? If you think about reading Marriage Toxin, go ahead and tell me if you have down below. And if you like this video, please do like, comment, and subscribe. I am H, and I will see you again for another manga in 10 minutes or less. Bye-bye.